Welcome to Spread Love in Organizations, the healthcare leadership podcast where we explore leadership with purpose. I'm Naji, your host, joined today by Diana Haydar, Director of Direct Sales at NASCO Insurance Group. Diana has been a key part of the NASCO Insurance Group for 20 years, starting in third-party administration and then moving into the direct broker business. She now covers Middle East direct portfolio, including medical, general, and life insurance. Diana started her career as a certified psychotherapist, then worked at a mountain hospital with children with special needs. She holds also a master's degree in hospital and health management from ESCP and ESA. With 20 years of hands-on experience in the medical field as a professional as well as in insurance industry, Diana has been involved in various aspects of the business, from operations and sales to planning and growth. For over 2 decades, Diana has been empowering teams, encouraging fresh perspectives, and finding new ways for NASCO Middle East to grow in the world of direct sales. She's a leader dedicated to making a lasting impact on the insurance industry. Diana, it's so amazing to see you again after so many years and have you with me today.
Yeah. Thank you, Naji. It's really amazing to see you too. We're not gonna say for how many years because let us keep our ages.
It will age us, yeah.
Yeah.
My first question to you was, let's catch up. Let's catch up on your journey from our school days. As you said, very early on in Lebanon to then you did physiotherapy, and now you're one of the known leaders in the insurance industry in the Middle East. So can you share a little bit more your personal story with us?
Yeah, sure. So, Naji, I grew up in a family, in a very modest family in Lebanon, where my dad was in the army, in the Lebanese army. My mom was a housewife, and we are 4 sisters. We are 4 sisters with very close ages. So we are really too close. As you can imagine, a house with four girls, how it looks like. So growing up was extremely amazing. We have beautiful childhood memories. We have teenage memories, which are really amazing. We are so close to each other. Thank God, this is a blessing that we still enjoy it till now, despite that everyone is in different country. I have 2 sisters in the US, 1 sister in Lebanon, and I'm here in Dubai. But despite all the distances, we are too close, and this is really what marks my childhood the most, Naji. So we were at the same school, you and me, at the same class, maybe for 14, 15 years. We sitting next to each other. So the school memories are the best memories that I have. We really enjoyed our time a lot, and I think that our future started from school time because we were lucky to have a school where we had freedom of speech. If you remember very well, Naji, we used to do this political debate, sociology, economy, talking about the war, growing up during wartime. So we had a lot to talk about, and which made us a little bit older than our age comparing to other schools where they didn't have the chance to have these conversations with their teachers and with their superiors. So it started from there. The leadership started from there, being delegate the class, representing the class many times. You and me together also, Naji, many times. We were elected by our colleagues at school. So basically my childhood was a very good childhood at home, at school. The only terrible memories I have are the war times, which we had to suffer from moving from a country, from a region to another, running away from where they are bombing now. Are they bombing Beirut or outside Beirut? So it was really something that I can never forget. And having to struggle with, as I told you, Naji, my dad was a soldier in the Lebanese army. So, and at a particular time, they were like attacked by other militia, by other countries. There was like the civil war, and then the war against our country neighbors. and the Lebanese army were really attacked. So many times he had to hide at home. My mom had to clean his clothes and put them to dry inside house because nobody from the neighbors should know that my dad is here, so that they don't attack our house. So I have this black side of my childhood. However, it taught me a lot, Naji. It taught me resilience. It taught me finding solutions to any problem that we might encounter in life. It taught me all the family bonding that we have, and the neighbors also. We were all on one heart. We were all hiding together in the same shelters, so this wartime, it really marked my childhood also. We learned from it. We learned from it, especially that we don't want it to happen again. So this is the childhood. I'll move a little bit to my university path. So I started, as you said, as a physiotherapist in the Lebanese university, which is the national university in Lebanon. And I was lucky to work at many like areas, especially with the kids, with the children having special needs, so that you meet this segment of the population who are in need of, who are dependent, who struggle, especially in Lebanon, at a country where it's not really equipped for with people with determination, people with needs. So you have you feel with the parents, you feel with the children, with the entire medical system, how much it doesn't support these diseases. They have to beg to do some surgeries for their kids because insurance companies do not cover congenital cases. They have to go and get help from the Ministry of Health, and the Ministry of Health in Lebanon is really politicized, if we can say it. So depending on from which religion you are, you might get help or not. So this is like the struggle that we used to have. And then I started to feel that I enjoyed physiotherapy, to be honest with you, Naji. I worked in an establishment and as a freelancer for around from 2003 till 2011. But meanwhile, I spotted in my character that I can be a leader. I can be more than a physiotherapist with my patient in one single cell or cabinet. So I discovered some skills which I didn't know that I have. And this is during my career life. And this is where I was also hired as a consultant for physiotherapy in NASCO group. So NASCO at that time, we had the split with an existing TPA, a third-party administrator. Let me just explain what is a third-party administrator. So we manage the insurance company's entire cycle. So the insurance company, they sell the policy, the medical policy, and they pay the claims. The entire approvals, customer service, the contract with the healthcare providers, the claims processing, all these, the financial reconciliation are done by a TPA. So this was my area of expertise. I started as a simple consultant for physiotherapy guidelines. So how many sessions to cover this, how many sessions to cover, what are the guidelines? And then I liked this job. I got enrolled in NASCO group for this role, and I did my MBA meanwhile in the ESA, in École Supérieure des Affaires, in Hospital and Health Management, as you mentioned in the introduction. And so I started from there, and I started growing and like getting promoted inside NASCO, and I've been with them for the past 20 years. So everyone now will guess the age, but it's fine. And yeah, and now I moved to Dubai 3.5 years ago. I moved to Dubai when after the Beirut blast, there was so many signs. There was the collapse, the economical crisis, all the crisis, all this stuff. So there were so many signs, talking in my head that Jana, you should leave. I have 3 kids, Naji, and I wanted so bad for them to be a little bit less afraid than I was when I was a kid. So the memory of the Beirut blast, they heard it. We were not in Beirut. We live far from Beirut. However, we heard it. My husband was in Beirut. We lost contact with him for about 2 hours. So it was horrible. This period was horrible to us. So, and then there was, the revolution before that, in 2019, and which also we had to struggle a lot to reach work, to all this stuff. But it was really, really horrible. So I got this opportunity in the UAE, in Dubai, and I came here. I started literally from scratch, picking a new house, all this, picking a new school for the kids, meeting new friends, starting from scratch. Even though I was still in NASCO, I was transferred from Beirut to Dubai. However, you have to build, to prove yourself in this new environment. And I can tell you, Naji, the environment in Dubai there's a huge difference between the environment, especially the work environment in Dubai, than in Lebanon. So, and I started, and thank God, now 3 years and a half have passed, and I feel that I've been here since forever, and I like where I am. I'm extremely happy with all the changes that I've done in life. It only took me to a better place.
Thanks, Diana, for sharing. Obviously, a lot of what you said touches close to home. I want to, before I ask you about Dubai, because I'm interested in what are the differences, as you said, really like leading cross countries, because I'm sure you are leading also a team across the region. So I'd love to go there. And for you being a woman in leadership, I'm really interested to dig in there. But just before that, if we go back, you talked about school. You reminded me about the debates, the healthy debates we had, the revolutions we did sometimes.
Exactly.
So what did you take from school, from your years in Lebanon with the childhood and war, really from a leadership standpoint? Did you reflect about who you are today as a leader, and what brought you to who you are today from what we lived before?
Of course, Naji. I believe I am what I am now because of this period that we had in Lebanon, and the school time and the wartime. So it taught us a lot, Naji. If you remember very well, we used to be at the classroom when the bombs start falling. So they took us all in the bus, go back home, or they called our parents to pick us home. So imagine you are a kid, 9, 10 years old, and then your life is at risk. Your parents coming to pick you up, their life is at risk. Your siblings in other classes where you don't know if they are afraid or not. All these, it made us stronger. It made us stronger. It made us more agile in our corporate world now, because change can happen like this. Everything is okay. You don't know what's going on. Then suddenly you have a major thing happening around you, which you're not involved in, but it is happening. So you have to act fast. You have to think fast. And most importantly, Naji, is the tomorrow. We used to go to home, and we do our homework, because tomorrow we might be going back to school. It's not that the world stops. So I'm not sure if you also, my parents used to be extremely strict at that point, is that if today there are bombs, tomorrow there are no bombs, you're going back to school and you're going to focus on whatever the teacher is telling you. So this split between the fear and focusing on your future is what we apply on every single day in our corporate life, because everything is moving. Look at the pandemic. Look now what's going on in the Middle East, and I work in the Middle East. And then suddenly you have to shift. This is going on. However, I need to go on also with my career, with my objectives, with my vision, with leading my team, with what's going on, what should be going on in my career. So this really made us what we are.
So to double click on this, Diana, obviously you're in an industry that is by itself transforming. We've been hearing it for a decade at least now, and for sure tomorrow will be even more change. And you're in a region, as you just said, in constant turmoil and challenges. So how are you applying those leadership skills that you just shared with us? And I love how you framed it. I've never thought about it that way, but I certainly lived exactly the same as you did. Like dealing with the unexpected, but then immediately refocusing on tomorrow as if tomorrow will just be normal again, regardless, exactly. Right? And you have to go through it.
Yeah.
And doing your homework, right? I think this discipline of you have to do whatever you need to do, regardless of if tomorrow would exist. So how are you transmitting this largely to your team now? And several of them did not live
I'll give you a small example. Before I came here, I moved here to Dubai in 2021. So in 2019, there was the revolution in Lebanon, the civil revolution, and it was a big thing back then. So half of the population was like participating to these riots. And I live, as I told you, I don't live in Beirut. I live a little bit far from Beirut. So they used to close the roads. And I have a team, and we work in medical insurance, where people will not stop falling sick. People will not stop needing for their medication, whether chronic or acute medication. People have planned surgeries. You have all these stuff. And I used to handle the portfolio, a very big portfolio for best assistance. So I had thousands of members, which I need to take care of about their experience, their claims, their complaints. All this was part of my job. So, and I had a team of four people, and we all live outside Beirut. So every day, because they close the road at 5 a.m., imagine, they start closing and putting fire to these tires at 5 a.m. And personally, not only because whether you are supporting the revolution or the riots or not, in my perspective of life, nothing should stop you from doing your job. I cannot make excuses that they are closing the roads, they're blocking the roads. I have to be there, and so is my team. So I used to wake up at 4 a.m., and it was the entire time of the revolution. At 4 a.m., get dressed, kiss my kids goodbye and my husband, and go to work before they close the roads. And so is my team. And I had to do this so that they also have the courage to do it also on their own and to come to the office, because in our job we cannot work remotely, especially with the internet condition in Lebanon. And there was not, also the pandemic was not there when the revolution started. So no one was really ready for a work from home environment. So I made sure to be there. I didn't skip one single day. We were there for our clients. We were there for everyone who needed us. Of course, we limited a little bit our moves, because when they block the roads, you cannot go anywhere. We made sure to leave the office at also the exact time where they open a little bit the roads for people to go back home. And then we reach our home safe, and we look at tomorrow, what time we're gonna move. Will it be worse? Will it be good? So this is a small example where nothing stopped us, where I have to be the strongest. I have to look the strongest. I have to behave like I'm the bravest, although I cannot tell you, Naji, that I wasn't scared. I made sure to make it every single day for my team. And then I knew, Naji, that if anything happens to me, the team will do the same, with or without me. They will never skip a day. They will never stop serving the people that they are supposed to serve. And this was for me, and I believe for them, a huge lesson and resilience, and staying positive, and on knowing your responsibilities, Naji.
Yeah, and you're touching something super powerful that we talk a lot about. It's this huge, true care for one another. You said something powerful, like they would be here for me, they would be here for each other, and they would never skip a day. Because the purpose also that you're driving is, you said something super powerful. Nothing can stop you from doing your job. And I would add, like, because you see your job, and it's true, super important for patients who need it. And they need you, so you were here for them, and your team was here for them.
Yeah. So working in the healthcare industry, Naji, it's a huge responsibility. And in insurance particularly, at that time in the country like Lebanon, is not something that it's easy.
So it's interesting because obviously healthcare systems are pretty broken all over the globe. Like I've been in Europe, as you know, now in the US. So there is what you're saying is true. There is this limit of at least people in urgent need are covered for their healthcare. But still, unfortunately, we see it in every single country. And in the US, I'm sure you've seen all those debates about people not being able to afford healthcare because of, as you said, it's either social economics. It can also be because of diversity, certain minority groups. So it's certainly something that we need leaders like you to keep on working and making sure that healthcare is a human right, as it is, but unfortunately it's not applied that way.
Yeah, exactly.
If we go back to my very first question I wanted to talk about, which is leadership in different countries and being a woman in leadership in the Middle East, can you share with us a little bit your learnings along the way?
Yeah. Actually, I'm lucky that I work at NASCO, to be honest, where they really value women at all positions. I cannot tell you it was an easy journey, because being a woman in the Middle East and the Arab countries, you are always labeled as fragile, you are labeled as dependent, you are labeled as being emotional, at not being able to think objectively, etc. You are labeled. Whereas, Naji, I can tell you, not because I'm a woman, the hardest decisions that are made, and decisions, I want to split between decision making and execution. I can only see in my surrounding, I'm sure there are lots of leaders, men who are extremely amazing, but from what I see around me, the decision making and the execution, when it's a woman leading these two areas, it is certainly a successful result, because we, Naji, want to prove that we can. When men don't feel that they need to prove it, it's already for granted. He's a man, he can do it. Whereas, and they fall in this trap because they take their work for granted sometimes. They are not, I don't want to say decision makers, but the confrontation between men and men, the frictions that happen in the corporate world, whenever it's a woman versus man, it's softer. It reaches to a middle ground. So I see this a lot. And again, I'm proud that I'm at NASCO, because this place gave me a lot of empowerment being a woman. However, it's not an easy journey at all. every single day, in every single meeting, Naji. Of course, I'm not comfortable in my skin as my men colleagues, especially when I am the only woman in the room, especially when also I'm with a client and when I'm with another executive. I need to make this huge first impression to be able to crack the preset mind. If I miss this first impression, I might be labeled with the nonsense that I told you previously. So it's not an easy job. It is doable. Again, it is how much the woman is focused to prove it, and she can do it and she can prove it. But she has to stay focused, really, Naji. We women, we cannot take our jobs for granted, unfortunately, like you guys. We need to fight harder. But again, fighting harder is also getting where we want and giving results more than anyone else.
And I certainly agree when you say about decision and execution and that you do it. We see it all over the world. Women leading get to better outcomes. And you know, there is something I've also learned by moving to different countries. It's what you're saying can also apply to minority groups. If you're the only different person in a situation, it immediately becomes you want to prove that you can, right? I love how you framed it because
you try harder. You try harder.
Yeah. Which sometimes it feels unfortunate and unfair, right? Totally. Like why would we get all those assumptions, as you said? Why do women have to overprove themselves to get where they want? But you're bringing the other side of it, which is actually you will prove that you can, and you're doing it. I want to move now to a section where I'm going to give you a word, and I would love your first reaction to it. Yeah. So the first word is leadership.
Heart and mind.
Oh, tell me more.
Two words. So this is something that I read recently. I had like some leadership course with a great professor, and he used to describe leadership is winning the heart and mind of your team. So anyone can be a manager, Naji. Anyone can calculate your KPIs. Anyone can make the job done, make the task done. Anyone can monitor your presence at the office, but not anyone can mobilize you to be a better person, to look at the same vision, to have a strategic mindset, unless it's a real leader. So if you don't win their heart and mind with your empathy, with your humility, with your leading by example, with all this stuff, in my opinion, you will never be a leader. You were never and you will never be a leader. It's not about having things done. Everyone can have things done. It's about looking at your team, talking to your team as if you're talking to yourself, feeling for them as if you're feeling for yourself.
What about insurance?
Security.
The third word I want to give you is Antoniye.
Yeah. Antoniye, everything. Everything that is beautiful in life, it's school. Naji, you cannot know how much I owe this establishment. You don't know how much I have done great friends such as yourself and all the other friends that I have. The personality that we had. You remember, Naji, one time we did a revolution because there was one student who didn't pay his tuition.
I don't remember.
You remember very well. So all these movements that we did at school, all the culture that we have, I still remember, if you remember, Monsieur Habshi, the Histoire Géo teacher, the talks that we had about World War II, about all the political regimes with Monsieur Malhem Nassar teaching us what is Marx. Although he was an Arabic teacher, we used to debate about communism, about Marxism, about socialism, about all this stuff. I am so grateful to this period of time, and which I envy the students there now. I hope it has the same culture now. I don't know, honestly. I'm too far from it now. I hope it still has the same culture.
Yeah, so for everyone, Antonia is obviously our school where we went to the first 15 years of our lives.
Yeah, 17
until
years, yeah.
Yeah. And certainly, you're bringing something that is so true that I feel I try at least to replicate along the way, is having those healthy debates. Right? You can have different views, and we were a mix of different cultures, religions, backgrounds.
Yeah.
But you can still open up and debate them respectfully while understanding others' view.
Yeah. If you remember, Naji, we were few schools had this diversity of religion and cultures. So we were really lucky because we had these debates. As I see some other, like my friends who used to be in a more closed school communities, they didn't know there's the other person, the other side of the religions, of the cultures. They didn't know until they were at work in their work life. We were lucky that we had this experience when we were too young.
Yeah, certainly. And again, like, that's a full topic, but it certainly helped you take out what unfortunately these days a lot of leaders are trying to do, is putting fear in our heads about the other. And if you really don't know the other, the fear bubble up. But when you sit with them, play with them, you realize that as human beings, we're all similar.
You think they are all your enemies until you see their point of views.
Yeah. The last one is spread love in organizations.
A must. The word that I would think of is it's a must. The corporate world is such an evil world, Naji. Unfortunately, I'm sure that you know that very, very well. It's the selflessness that it's not there anymore. It's the selfishness. So everyone wants to reach their goals by crashing the others, by labeling the others, by ruining the reputations of others, by whatever. So this teamwork, this spirit, the love, the culture, I'm not sure it's there enough anymore, unfortunately.
But you are here, we are here, and there's more than 150 leaders I interviewed who certainly are spreading it and trying hard to do it. Any final word of wisdom, Diana, for leaders around the world?
It's not for the leaders, actually. I'll start with the people who haven't discovered yet that they are leaders. So I would say this if my team is listening to me now, or my whole team in Lebanon is listening to me now. You all guys can be leaders. It's just believe in yourself and be yourselves, because this is the most important advantage that you have. It's only be yourself and you can make it. This is for my team now, and for the leaders across the world. This is a song, like a cliche, which is nothing lasts forever. You will not be sitting in the same chair. You will not be sitting in the same position. People will remember you for the good impressions that you made. So, and this comes with leadership. It's not an easy statement, Naji, because we all struggle with stuff, with mental issues, with the conflicts, the trauma that we have from our childhood. And we unconsciously we spread them on our team. We might be tough, we might be non-empathic, we might be, all this stuff. So, guys, again, nothing lasts forever. Just keep this good impression while you're here on Earth so that people will remember you. Naji, my first boss, actually, this is a side story. He's my mentor. He used to be my mentor. It's been a long time. I haven't spoken to him. So also, he marked a lot my leadership style because he used to be a great leader. So what I try to do also, Naji, now is to have the same print on the team that I lead. I wish that they will remember me the way I remember my first boss.
I'm sure they will. And what an amazing way to finish this conversation. Diana, thank you so much for being with me today and sharing all those stories.
Thank you so much, Nadia. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Spread Love in Organizations. Subscribe at SpreadLoveIO.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Together, let's inspire change and make a positive impact in healthcare, one story at a time.